Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast. You look so miserably hot. You look so good when you sat down, and now you look so hot. Up,
though, like in the middle of the night, and the pillows and everything is just soaking fucking wet. And because I usually get up about 3 and I can't get back to sleep. And
if you lived in Texas, Abbott wouldn't let you have a water break, even though you're at home.
That is true. So hopefully when we move, the place will, there was one place I went to look at today and there are fucking ads. They're boom, 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 boom on Facebook. And I go by there today and honest to God, this place was in my fucking dream. I swear to God, like a year ago or something, looked exactly like it. But I'm riding through.
I'm not in your dreams.
And then you're always in my dreams.
No.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see if this works out over here first, because I can't. Like right here, it was just so kind of ratchet. It looked good in the pictures, like the inside. But I'm looking at. I'm just going through the complex. Hey, buddy, you are sweating.
Maybe because it's hot upstairs.
Man,
I know.
Have you ever thought of?
I know.
I think I would just go take a cold shower and like sleep in there.
I do like the showers I take. Like I take cold showers. I take them with the door open, like dry off and whatever. What are you looking for? Huh? Well, I think I put some of them in the freezer. I think no. I'm saying I put some.
My parents were against air conditioning.
Really?
They still don't have air conditioning, and they're wealthy. But I mean, they're like, we don't need it. Oh, we have a series. We have a series of fans. They have like built it. When they redid their house like 15 years ago, they added in like ceiling, like through the house ventilation
ceiling fans and stuff. Yeah,
but it still gets really fucking hot in there.
Yeah. Oh,
and it was bullshit growing up when they're like, we don't need it. And I was like, I mean, we weren't in New Mexico though.
Fair. So you only needed a couple months out of the year. Ty, you need air conditioning every day in that bitch. It don't matter what season it is. You have like all the juice in the world today, and me and Carol are like, blah. So
well, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep.
Well, I was gonna say
like listening to Ty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's very entertaining.
I'm your lullaby. Carol's gonna record me and then she's gonna put me on and just listen to me like I do pods when I go to sleep. And it's just me rapping.
But yeah, anyway, now that I've gotten tired, I don't want to read these notes anymore. So let's just I'm sure we can do like
let's just 30, wing it. Pick some good shit.
We can wing it for 35 and a half minutes. And then that'll get us good. Yeah.
Otherwise I will be too tired.
Yeah, and then that'll get us to our shithole of the week award, if there is one. Do either of you have one?
And that list is fucking the
extensive.
Field.
Yes. it's a very extensive list. Yeah, so what I guess we'll do. Yeah. I don't know. I'll just give us some topics to talk about. We'll figure it out. And then I'll try and count down to the clock 30 minutes plus. And then we'll do our shithole of the week award and closing thoughts. And then I'll take these notes. I'll make another podcast out of by myself while y'all are off enjoying your evening or something.
What today?
My boobs.
No. Yeah, your boobs are very huge, Ty. I don't know if that's going in the podcast or not. Maybe. Who knows? Oh no, because then they'll be like, D, he's such a man. He just gratuitously talks about his co-host boobs. Well, she started it.
No, I talked about my own boobs.
You know, it's not like I asked her to take her shirt off, but if you want to, you can. Don't take your shirt off.
You don't want to see this. You don't want to see this.
Yeah, that's not going in the podcast, definitely. Let me grab so did you
This is the segment of the podcast called This Isn't Going in the Podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't going in the podcast.
All right, did you guys hear about the Michigan legislators that got in a fight and shit?
Oh my God.
Sorry, there was a cold nose on my tongue.
Was wild as fuck, man.
What?
When I take my glasses off, I'm ready to rock.
Oh yeah.
Was it they had a physical altercation?
All right.
Yeah, he kicked the guy in the balls.
Wait. We don't have to talk about it yet. I was just asking if you had heard of this, so that can be one thing. What else is going on? Did either of you happen to get a chance to see what was going on in RFK Junior's Slack channel? No, the campaign
and
Slack.
His Slack channel. I know that weird ass shit that happened when they
farting.
The farting thing,
the yelling and farting, and
okay.
GOP has been wilding the fuck out this week.
You noticed that, haven't you? Things have been going horribly awry. If this were the Democrats, it'd be like every newspaper in the country, Democrats in disarray. But because it's Republicans, no one gives a shit.
I take my glasses off, I'm ready to rock. I can't. I'm just picturing it. Like I need to see that.
Oh, that was pretty tough. All right. Judge Cannon Trump's team asking for an endless delay to his trial. Did either of you happen to catch up on that?
Yeah, enough, I guess. Yeah.
Enough to know that she's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah,
but she hasn't granted it yet.
She hasn't, and they'll get to that Tuesday. But yeah,
and the Justice Department's already been like, "Yo, absolutely not."
Yeah.
All right. Do y'all remember what's his name? Is it Tarantino?
Yeah, I think that's it. Who tried to assassinate the former POTUS?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which former POTUS?
The one we like.
The one who had all the guns and ammunition outside Obama's house and shit.
Recently?
Yeah, like last week. Or this week. Yeah. What's that?
Because even though someone tried to kill Obama, the news just doesn't give a fuck.
That's true. They were focused on cocaine gate.
They don't give a... Well, we could talk about cocaine as well.
Why is that such a big fucking deal?
That there was cocaine at the White House?
If it was like anthrax, would you feel that way? I'm like, but it wasn't anthrax. It was cocaine. Like, why did they need to find out whose it was? How to get it inside someone's asshole? Are you doing cavity searches? No.
As a
shut up.
addict, I assure you, you don't separate from your blow, okay? That's going to be in your pocket.
No,
you're going to a secure place. It's going to be in your ass or your coochie.
This wasn't addict blow. This was
planted blow.
No, it was recreational blow.
I honestly believe it was planted because where it was and the way that
it had no fingerprints on it.
Because I don't trust the Secret Service. Point blank, period. I don't.
Why'd they even bring it up? I thought they were supposed to be have some discretion.
Exactly. Like that shouldn't even, because I'm sure that's not the worst thing that they found in the White House and they confiscate it and they do their whatever. But this made the news immediately before they even did all of this stuff. That was sus to me. That's why I'm like leaning towards the planted thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what other things we got.
Let's just go. We're rearing to go. We're already talking about all this stuff.
I'll count us in. We'll do. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that in there. And we'll go back and revisit some of those things. Hopefully, that'll get us through 30 minutes. I'm sure it possible. Well, Ty, you can go on for an hour solo, which is always incredible to me because I'm like, damn, I'm running out of shit to say. I got to think of some. Anyway, hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
This is Ty.
And you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. We back, bitches. I hope you missed the girls. They're finally here. Yeah, I'm sure you're tired of hearing my fucking voice. Yeah, I had that like hour-long indictment podcast, and then got like a couple of episodes from the January 6th report where it's my voice droning on endlessly. So I'm sure you're sick of that shit and happy to hear some other pleasant voices.
So are you planning on reading every chapter? Isn't the executive summary alone about 800 pages?
And the executive summary is like 120 pages. It's very long. I'm gonna get to that at the end. But yeah, so just in case you missed it, January 6th report coming to the podcast. I've got a huge chunk of it done with a couple of more episodes to record. I've got a number of them already recorded, ready to go, but I will be releasing them shortly. But before we even get to the news, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Colin from Sheets and Giggles. He is a fucking bedtime genius. He got some amazingly soft, incredibly delightful sheets that you can order, put on your bed, help you sleep good at night.
Followers bought some.
They're smooth and cool.
Sweet. Yeah, they are certainly the best set of sheets I've ever slept on, and that includes posh hotels that I've slept in. So pick you up a set. You can also get you like some nice pillows, some pillowcases. Go ahead and grab you a mattress if you want to, like the bamboo memory foam. He's got the dope shit going on. I actually haven't tested that one out yet, but if you do me a favor and follow him on the Twitter and the threads and you buy enough of his shit, maybe he will send us a mattress and we'll test it out just for you. All right, kids. It's been a crazy week. Well, I guess it's been a crazy 2 weeks since we've all done this together.
It's been a crazy 10 years.
So I guess one of the first places we could start with is what the fuck did Elon do to Twitter? Oh my fucking God. Yeah, that's for starters. That whole rate limit exceeded thing where apparently he didn't pay his Google Cloud hosting bill. So we woke up one day to having our Twitter accounts limited to 600 views a day, which was asinine because it was like retroactive to before he even announced. So like
always that they would send, that's like one thread.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, if you were anything like me, you were like scrolling through Twitter at like 11:30 at night, and then you woke up that morning and you're like, what the fuck is this? How am I rate limit exceeded? I haven't even opened the fucking app yet. So that was pleasant. That damn near killed off the entire website for like a day and a half because people was like, fuck. But you know what? Zuckerberg had the bright idea of rolling out his own Twitter clone / competitor called Threads. If you haven't heard of it, it's connected to Instagram. You basically take your Instagram account, port it over to Threads. Boom. There you go. Take all your followers and the people you're following with you.
I've been using it. I like it.
I mean, Threads too. And how the hell do you have like 10,000 followers, D? It's probably more now.
I've been busy.
I'm just...
Well, okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that. So I popped onto the Threads after I saw that 50 million people had signed up for it for over the first couple of days. I was like, huh. And by sign-ups, we mean
semi-compulsory.
Yeah, 49 million people already had Instagram accounts, so they just downloaded Threads, and then poof, there you go. So I took a look at the thing, and I was like, oh yeah, well maybe we can make some use of this thing, given that Twitter is imploding and people seem to be fleeing a sinking ship, much like rats from the Titanic. And I'm probably one of the fatter rats, and at least
everyone float on D. Sorry, proceed.
I'm figuratively one of the fatter rats fleeing the Twitter debacle as it crashed into an iceberg of Elon.
Figuratively.
Elon's, you can float on me literally. Yeah, so that thing was massively successful.
I am very dense. I do not float. I will drag everyone down and drown them.
You might have a better chance in salt water. So that rollout was massively successful. Ended up being over 100,000 people in a little over a week. Given that it appears that in Twitter's heyday,
100 million.
Yeah, something like that. And it appears that in Twitter's heyday, maybe the peak monthly user average for Twitter was 400 million. So to get 100 million people within a week of launching is not only an incredibly successful feat on the part of Meta, it also goes to show you how fucking miserable and disliked Elon is, that so many people were. Yeah, but no, so
that we'd go back to our abusive ex, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But he's wearing different clothes.
He's wearing a new scent of perfume. Yeah. So with the massive success of the rollout of Threads, even though it's a very sucky app by comparison, the vibe is very nice and the people are very friendly so far. I mean, the trolls have yet to flock there. And of course, like they have very, well, compared to Twitter, very strict moderation rules. So it's going to be a slightly more benevolent, enjoyable place, at least in the meanwhile, until enough fucking people complain.
But Elon did get the endorsement of the Taliban. So that's,
yes.
in all fairness.
You're absolutely correct. The Taliban was like, we don't know about this whole Threads thing. We can't radicalize people on here, so we're going to go back to Twitter. We love you, Elon. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we should be calling it Quitter because that's what
Quitter is doing.
Quitter. All right. So this lays the groundwork with a massive volume of people signing up for Threads. To the point where I saw it as a possible leverage point for us to, build our audience, not just on this podcast, but again, for the purposes of the 2024 election, do our thing, get our people together, get our voices aligned so we can have some leverage when election day rolls around next year. And so I was doing... Someone's going to get so mad at this. So I stole this idea from the Bernie Bros. Once upon a time back in I don't know what year they started doing it. Maybe it was 2016, 2017, one of those. So they had this idea of doing this Twitter thing where they're like, oh, no, bro, under 1,000, retweet this and follow each other back. So I was like, that's actually a very fucking good idea because you can get a lot of people engaged and surrounded by each other, like, build a community through the Twitter doing this thing. It's a very good fucking idea. I'm gonna steal that shit. So credit to you, Bernie Bros. The one thing you were ever useful for was this one small ingenious social media device of getting people to engage with each other and follow each other back. So I took that idea, implemented it on the Threads with the no Dems under 1,000 followers. So no Dems under 1K. So the idea there was to tell everybody, hey, if you don't have 1,000 followers yet, we're going to get you there. This thing's new. Be patient. So just post no Dem under 1K right here. Hit the like button, hit the repost button, follow each other back. Boom. Now you've got, instead of 5 followers, you got 50.
Yeah.
If you give it a couple days and you're following people back, now you got 100. Give it a week, now you got like 1,000. So there are a number of people who started off not knowing what to do, where to go, and they follow along, follow me, follow the thread, post, follow back.
Follow the thread, follow me,
and now we've got
come over here and like my post. De-invented the follow train. Took it from Natalie.
No, I took it from, wait, which one is the grifter? Well, no, like they're
all of them.
Okay, which was the biggest of the Bernie Bro grifters? I stole it from one of them. It might have been
I don't remember the Bernie Bro grifters.
And that's probably because you're living a much happier and fulfilling life than I am. Yeah, I think I stole it from cheese.
Who?
Cheese.
What the fuck is that?
Brie.
Brie is a cheese.
We're not getting anywhere here,
Brianna.
You just reminded me because I got the cheese that I brought back from Mexico.
Oh no.
Yeah, I did. Because I told you I hid those sausages.
You did actually.
The border.
Yeah.
You can't bring raw meat across the border, but I needed those. You smuggled the cheese across the border? I smuggled some Argentinian chorizo.
Okay, so Ty, normal people smuggle drugs across the fucking border, and you like, no, I'm gonna risk customs season my shit to bring some fucking cheese over here. But the chorizo cheese, yeah, it's pretty.
I got some Iberico and some Manchego, and the
is like the already melted kind, or is it like the hard? Oh, you brought the hard cheese.
Tiny slice that you'll have.
Oh my god, Ty! Oh,
I'm telling you, the fucking.
Oh my god.
The grocery store was one of the best places I've ever been in my life, and I. And I want it so bad. And so I'm looking at the rules, the customs rules. And I brought that. And then when I go, I hope this is good. Because I risked, incarceration and a $10,000 fine for these 4 sausage links. But, so good. Oh.
Yeah, the United States is like the USSR. Before the wall fell. Just people go to our grocery stores and like, what the fuck is this? And then you got to go to Mexico to get the good shit. It's crazy.
The good shit. It was the most beautiful. I bought some non-FDA regulated toothpaste.
The lead just gave it a little something extra.
Oh my god. Okay, so
deodorant that will probably give me cancer, but I'm telling you, the shit works. It's like for 48 hours.
Okay, back to threads. We've gotten off track here. So how did I end up with 10,000 followers overnight? Basically, well, look, people are apparently very grateful for individuals who connect them with other individuals. So
people love you, D.
Yeah. Well, that's
you're very charismatic, but people have made their entire Twitter following around doing follow trains. I mean.
Well, that's not exactly what happened. I mean,
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's always been a successful strategy.
Yeah, but I don't ask people to follow me. I just tell them to follow each other. I know.
You're fine. I'm not accusing you of anything. I was just taking some jabs.
You were just throwing some. Carol was just throwing some shade.
I'm aware that
was what she's talking about.
Yes, I was going to say I'm aware. Those are jabs thrown at certain individuals that we're not going to name on this podcast. But yeah, so what ended up happening is a number of the people who follow me on the Twitter hopped on over to the threads, and they found me through that thread. So of course they hit the follow back button, and then a number of people who don't follow me on Twitter were also grateful they followed me back. And then there were a number of people who found people to follow on there who didn't follow me back, and that's also fine as well. It's totally good.
I ended up getting a lot of followers from Instagram.
Yeah,
and they're gonna realize that political tie is not IG tie, because IG tie is like ooh titties, but.
Ooh,
okay.
And they're like, they done popped up into they're in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, this is not what I was expecting. Where are the boobs?
That's what I signed up for. I thought this was the OnlyFans of IG.
She keeps telling me to vote for Democrats, and I just came here for boobies. You're like,
yes,
nah.
well, if you continue voting for Democrats, there will be more boobies. So
there will be more.
I mean, Ty, you know what? We keep joking about you starting an OnlyFans, but maybe you should start one where, if they vote for Democrats, they get a free 2-month subscription or something,
or they get a free nip. I don't know.
Free nip.
Well,
I raised money for political candidates with a bikini picture. Don't you recall?
Yeah, I do recall. And you did a fantastic job. And I'm sure a number of individuals. Wait,
Kara?
You auctioned it off, correct? Like to the highest bidders?
No, I was like anyone who showed me a receipt for a $50 donation
got you. Yeah.
could see the picture. It was it wasn't like a very scandalous photo.
No, but
that's a very reserved
cute.
bikini.
I like that.
It's a good idea. I don't think I can pull that off. No one wants to see me in a fucking bikini. Well, I'm sure there's like 4 people who are creeps who might want to see me. Anyway, I don't know. Look, when 180,000 people follow you on Twitter, it gets to be. Anyway, that's not important. I'm sorry.
Bragging, man.
Yeah. So look, if you're looking to flee Twitter because you're aware that it's a fucking shit show and it's only going to get worse from here, like follow the thread, go on the threads. You can follow us at the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. All of our screen names are under there in the profile. So you can go ahead and do that if you want to. And of course, there's also Spoutable, which is my favorite of the Twitter alternatives. It doesn't.
I just wish there was an app.
Well,
yeah, for Apple.
Yeah, I have an app. Ha. Get an Android, bitches.
But not for, yeah.
You snooty bitches, get off a fucking Apple.
But my phone works and is good.
I mean, my phone works well too.
It's only like 5 months old.
Don't worry.
No, I was talking to Christopher and I said something and
that's boozy.
And
correct?
I told him, I go, "You're lucky I answered your text at all because of the green bubble." And he goes,
"Oh, your son."
Yeah, Chrissy's like.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Christopher Boozy. Well, I was like, what?
My battery lasts more than an hour and my camera's superior and my screen doesn't break. Like he goes on like.
Oh, damn. He was just trashing your iPhone. I'm with him.
He was clapping back.
I mean, iPhone's all right. It is definitely. So with Android, you have so many options with like the type of phone you can get, but iPhones, you only have iPhones.
Well,
and iPhones have certainly caught up in the quality of offerings as far as like their hardware and software go. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that, Ty. It's just the Boo podcast, I guess. No, but yeah, Spoutable's got an app coming, Carol, shortly for Apple.
That's good.
So Boozy said that there's 2 things holding it up. They're working out a few bugs, of which they'll be done with shortly. And then the second thing is he wants to have that button where you can like monetize your Spoutable account, and not like, well, so where you can like accept tips or whatever. So like a tip jar. Okay. But Apple's having a hang up with that because they want Spoutable to be able to do that through the Apple store. And I guess they don't seem to understand that like Boozy's not taking a percentage of this or whatever, like the Twitter Blue subscriptions. It's just like other users can individual users can send each other money if they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boozy's not taking a pay cut, but Apple seems to want a share of that.
A share of that, like, oh.
Because they think of it like a subscription service or something. So like, oh, you subscribe to Twitter Blue, you pay X dollars a month, 80% of that goes to Twitter or whatever. And then the other 20 goes to whether it be the respective service that people are using, whether that's Android or Apple. So Google should get a cut or Apple get a cut.
Sugar daddy. Okay. So we're getting back to politics.
Yeah, I can't help you with that. But look, I mean, I guess I could like do the Twitter thing where I ask everyone if they want to volunteer to be your sugar daddy. Like the more sugar daddies there are, the less money you have to spend on Ty. It's like you can pull your resources together.
Band together, man. With my followers, if y'all just all chip in $1, I'm set. I'm doing.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, right? Like if everyone who followed me on Twitter gave me $1, I would have
my house.
I'd have. Well, I don't know. Houses have gotten expensive here. I'd have half a house.
That's enough for a down payment.
Yeah, I'd have a bedroom and like a quarter of a kitchen and like
so basically
a living room.
An apartment on the Upper East Side. of Manhattan. That's really like no closet though. You don't
Carol, what kind of you're not getting an apartment in Manhattan for 100.
No, I think she meant the size of one.
Oh yeah. The size of my current dwelling space.
That's true, but that will cost you $5,000 a month.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, Spoutable app coming for Apple soon. Go ahead and sign up on the web space. I know I wasn't really. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it when it was on the web. It was just like harder to navigate with the fucking browser shit going on at the same time as the app. But it was the website. But then I got the fucking Android app. It's dope. And there's way more features on there already. There were more features available to Spoutable than at its rollout than Threads. And Threads is backed by a fucking billionaire. So, yeah, imagine that. But yeah, I'm sure this is fucking killing Elon. He's already threatened to sue Meta and Zuck.
Sorry, I'm making faces if I was on my OnlyFans and I was like...
Here's mine.
There's a lot going on this Zoom. That listeners
watch me eat goldfish.
Watch me. I was gonna say. I was just gonna ask you, Carol. You eat goldfish?
No one can see this, and you two are putting on a visual show for an audio medium. Good guys, good job, guys. No, but yeah.
She said, "Carol, are you eating goldfish?" And I said, "Yes." So I feel like they've had a pretty good guess as to what we're doing.
Well, the shit Ty was doing before into the
she
camera.
Also announced what she was doing.
Anyway.
Oh, that's the alt text. Or the alt, like not the alt text, but the alt audio.
Yeah, so Elon's very unhappy with Zuckerberg creating a competitor for free after he paid $44 billion for the Twitter.
And now he insists he's just obsessed with Zuck's penis and can't stop thinking about it.
Zuck's duck.
Well,
he posted the like Zuck's a cuck, and then 8 hours later commented like, "I propose a literal dick measuring contest." Like, what were you thinking about the last 8 hours?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, that was on his mind.
Well, I'm sure his mother will approve of that, given that she already canceled.
He makes her sleep in the garage, man. Did you see that shit?
I didn't. Well, there's an actual picture.
Yeah, she was like, when I stay at my son's house, I sleep on a mattress, like in the garage, or blankets on the floor.
Oh,
doesn't he sleep in doesn't he have a trailer that he lives in a trailer?
I thought he had a tiny house. Like one of the maybe that was in California. I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's
potato.
Did you see the thread that his dad put?
Which one?
With Elon's stepsister.
No.
Where he was like, "I just don't like you," and like he posted on Twitter.
That's hilarious. So no one likes Elon, not even his parents.
Not even if I don't know. I guess his mom's motherly thing likes him more than Trump's mom liked him.
Maybe, I guess. Well, we know one of Elon's children certainly doesn't rock with him. I don't know how you like out here hating on trans people and your kid is trans. Feels like very I don't know, just not very well developed thought process there. Like, so but your child is trans, but you're trashing other parents for encouraging their children to live in such a way that they find suitable, but
which his ex-wife did, like with their sorry, I'm burping. I've been drinking. But yeah, like she supports their daughter,
Well, it just seems like he would be more intimately familiar with what that's like for most parents, given that his child. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. To be honest, like, he's a piece of shit. Like, let him continue being a horrible. Like, let me not make him an empathetic figure in this. He's a jackass.
There's nothing empathetic
Fuck
about
that guy.
He's so much of a jackass that 100 million people signed up for a different app just because of him.
For a different jackass.
Yes, it's not like everyone's running around singing Mark Zuckerberg's praises. We hate that fucker too. It's like, just, oh my God, it's just Elon so bad that by comparison, Like, well, maybe is this the same thing DeSantis tried to pull off, right? He was like, well, I'm not Trump, so I'm not that bad. And then people met him.
you're fucking weird.
Except Zuck keeps his mouth shut. Zuck doesn't feel like Zuck. The equivalent would be Zuck like, I'm gonna ban you having private data. I'm gonna ban you talking about you. You may not mention the Holocaust on Twitter, or on Threads,
or of Zuck paddling around with, cat feces,
cat feces, yes, feline feces,
yeah, and fucking Russian
and Tucker Carlson.
Oh dear, I didn't even.
Shucker Carlton.
Shucker Carlton. That's
all right. Okay, I guess we can bounce to that topic now. So there's some interesting developments going on with Tucker Carlson here. First and foremost, he's being sued by Ray Epps,
good
victim of Tucker Carlson's conspiracy theory about the origins of the attack on the January 6th Capitol. I'll get to that on another podcast. But what's more entertaining is this idea that after being fired from Fox, Tucker decided to take his talents to Twitter, where he would be performing a weekly show. Is it weekly? Was he doing episode a week? Ty, you look so hot. And I don't mean like attractive. You're like fanning yourself and you're sweaty. We need to get you some air conditioning soon. So you muted yourself too. So Tucker was going to take his talents to Twitter, where he would be performing a weekly news show. One that Fox was very apparently unhappy about him doing, but decided to pursue anyway. Well, it seems as though that's not working out in the best fashion for him, as so now Ty is literally blowing smoke. Is the first trailer for his show received something upwards of 100 million views. We won't call that actual people watching. We'll call it impressions. So 100 million impressions, right? And then what was it? The second show got 80 million. And then the next iteration, I think it was when Trump got indicted. So that bumped up the views quite a bit. And then after that, it was 60 million. And then it was 40. And then it was 25. And then it was 12. And well, the most recent episode got about 8 million.
The one with the sex trafficker?
Yeah. The sex trafficker.
The no socks wearing.
Alleged sex trafficker.
Alleged.
Yeah. So it looks like Tucker Carlson decided to put all his chips in the Elon Musk basket, not understanding that Elon Musk was destroying the platform. Womp womp.
Yeah. And not understanding that people just don't really give a fuck about Tucker Carlson.
That is totally true. And I was worried initially. I was like, damn, he's going to move to fucking Twitter. He can just do a fucking daily show every day on here, and it'll have instantaneous reach. And then apparently, look, I have to say, other than him facing this lawsuit, I've heard less about Tucker Carlson on Twitter since he started his show on Twitter than when he was on Fox News.
Absolutely.
It's a fucking accomplishment. You're doing the show on Twitter now, and I hear less about your shit now. Yep, it's fantastic news. I hope that fuckhead goes broke in this lawsuit. I mean, given that Fox News already lost $750 million to a voting machine company, I feel like this Ray Epps guy could get Tucker for a pretty penny. At least I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
Take all that fucker's fish stick money.
Yeah,
take it all. You got Swanson for life. For life. All right. So in the documents case with Trump and the special counsel, the other day, Trump's legal team asked for what is practically an indefinite delay to the trial. Smith's team originally asked for a delay to begin the trial in December to give Trump's team enough time to handle the discovery, which is, was a massive quantity. I think it was some 6 or 7 terabytes of data. If you know anything, they can't read. It's
Well, luckily for them, some 57 hours of that is video footage and not documents. So at least they could sit there and watch the security footage like a movie. That's a huge, I mean, of course, that's a huge chunk of the data, but obviously terabytes and terabytes of documents and such. I mean, that's an endless fucking amount of discovery. And, you know, Trump's legal team is steadily dwindling as a number of them have either quit or become witnesses in the investigation. Evan Corcoran, we're looking at you there. So that should be a fun endeavor for his legal team to dive into. We are supposedly going to hear Judge Cannon's response to that matter on Tuesday. So look forward to whatever potential fallout from that that might arise. I mean,
that bitch is bold because she was like taken to the woodshed, you know, by the 11th Circuit Court.
Oh yeah, they beat that ass.
Yeah, but she still didn't even like learn her lesson. She is fucking bold as fuck. I don't know what they offer.
Well, she hasn't ruled yet, but we're going to see what tack she takes with the Trump team on Tuesday. Also, it appears that Special Counsel Jack Smith's team responded to Trump's filing earlier today, saying that there was no reason to postpone scheduling of a trial date.
That's what I was saying before we started the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, well, right. First of all, Trump wanted not to delay the trial, not only until like post 2024 election, but to have Cannon not even just like take the trial date off the fucking calendar. And that's
get rid of it.
Yeah, that's insane for a number of reasons, but namely that we have like a constitutional obligation for people to
the constitutional right to the speedy trial. Yeah, they mentioned that in their response.
Yeah, well, that requires having a trial date on a calendar for one. I mean, there are some scenarios in which you might postpone.
That's great. It's like, here's a bunch of reasons why this is totally bullshit. There's no reason to need a real trial to postpone the trial at all, let alone indefinitely.
Yeah,
doing so indefinitely postponing a trial would be a violation of his constitutional rights,
yeah,
etc.
Yeah,
right. Like the idea that there's can't seat an impartial jury is just like as dumb now as it would be then.
Asinine.
Like if they can't, I mean, yeah.
Okay, the idea that they can't seat an impartial jury now is so insane. If the idea is that you want to have the trial after the election, so you think you'd have more of an impartial jury in the middle of that doesn't make any sense. Like, all right, well, what if you become president? You think that would make the jury more impartial or more biased? What do you think there? So yeah, that's bonkers.
Well,
argument.
Why didn't he just say like, well, because if you let me win first, then I can just stop the trial. So that would be much more convenient for me.
Yes. That's exactly what he's thinking here.
That's Trump's legal strategy here. Postpone things until after the election, which hopefully in his mind he wins. And that way he can just order DOJ to end the prosecution of himself, and or should he not be the nominee and another Republican wins, hopefully he'll get a pardon. And there are scenarios in which you would postpone a trial indefinitely. And I can think of one instance, like, so say you have a civil suit that's set to go to trial, but there's also supposed to be a period of potential arbitration or something. So you would say, hey, the arbitration set to go on for 3 months. So let's just postpone the trial indefinitely because we may not need it because we may come to some kind of settlement agreement during arbitration.
But they don't have arbitration for criminal matters. No,
but I'm just saying, like, it's not. And it's different when it's in a federal court. I mean, it's totally asinine. But I'm just saying that it's not completely, totally asinine to think that there's a possibility that you would take trial. No, go ahead. I was going to just let you keep going while I was talking. No, so it's not completely and totally unheard of that you might take a trial off the calendar altogether temporarily, with the caveat being that there be some, definite point in time where you could say, once this event occurs, then we will know whether or not we need to set a trial date. In Trump's case, he's just like, no, just delay that shit forever, ho. And we will see what Cannon does on Tuesday. So you have that to look forward to. Also, another thing, and I'm sorry, I won't shut the fuck up here. But obviously, Jack Smith's team is completely aware of Trump's legal strategy, and I don't think he's going for it. So we had quite a bit of grand jury activity in Washington, D.C. as far as Jack Smith's team is concerned here this week. And one of the takeaways from that is that, well, there don't appear to have been any witnesses. So what the fuck was the grand jury doing, kids? What were they doing? You got any guesses? Carol, Ty,
I stopped listening for a second.
That's okay.
I'm looking at dresses. Hannah Anderson's having a real nice sale.
Yeah.
Is she? Is it on Poshmark?
No, I'm just looking at Hannah Anderson. It's a
Hannah Anderson. I in my mind just defaulted to Pam Anderson.
Different Anderson. Totally different outfit selection there.
She might have a clothing line. I don't know.
I doubt it's for children.
But not for my kid.
Yeah, what kind of clothing styles do you tend to dress your children in?
Whatever, man, that looks comfortable. In the summer, I look for UPF stuff or lightweight stuff with longer sleeves because I don't want them to get burned.
Totally understandable. They're not dark and luscious like me and Ty, where we soak up the sun.
We can get burned.
My
mom, she went on a week-long cruise, and then she calls me. She goes, Black people can get sunburned?
Yeah. Although we typically have to, I don't know. Well, you live down there in New Mexico, so you're a little bit closer to the equator, but up here in Tennessee, it's really tough for us Black people to get toasted like that. But yeah, we can, but we also need a lot of sunlight to get on.
But she went, like my mom
she was on a Caribbean cruise.
She took a train because they have these like Amtrak trips, but that you can city for like 3 hours, and you go and then you spend the day in Raleigh in the cap. They're fun, whatever.
And then you hop back on the train and you just go next.
She was like, "We're gonna take the train to Miami."
Oh, hell no.
Which she did, and they go down there, and they were in Jamaica or something. I think her and my stepdad.
Jamaica, man.
They go every summer for their anniversary. They take a trip. But
how romantic!
She came back all freaking. She was burnt like a motherfucker, and she was like, you can get sunburned, like going on and on about that. About that.
The last time I was in Florida, I got a tiny bit of sunburn, like on my neck right here and my shoulders right here. It wasn't bad. Like threw some aloe vera on there. I was good in a couple of days. But yeah,
last
it was.
Time I went to Florida, Russian. Okay, go ahead.
No, Russian what? Continue. We want to hear that story.
Russian in Florida?
No, so we're at the Mondrian, and
you was at the fucking mob bar.
Yeah, it was a good day, and our bill was like $400.
All right, cut this short story. I don't want us to get in trouble.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I'm just saying, I'm sure the Secret Service is listening to this podcast.
As my father would say, I've never seen this woman before in my
life. Okay. So given that there was a bunch of grand jury activity in DC with no witnesses involved, I take that to mean that it's entirely plausible that the grand jury was making charging decisions about potential indictments, given that seems to be what happened in Florida once we learned of that grand jury, but also that they were meeting, yet not getting testimony from any witnesses. And as it turns out, days later, Trump was indicted for espionage violations, or rather Espionage Act violations, as well as obstruction and witness tampering. So I would wager the Jack Smith's team is going to wait till Tuesday, see what Cannon is doing. And if she's on some fuck shittery type stuff, they're going to be like, all right, time to get these indictments rolling in DC too. And then that way they can ensure that they have at least one jurisdiction in which they'll be holding a trial for Trump long before the election in 2024. Well, at least
Don't forget
that's
Georgia.
my assumption. Well, yeah, that's also, so since you brought up Georgia, Fonnie Willis doing her own investigation of Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. And it appears as though she's impaneled a new grand jury, as the special purpose grand jury has since been disbanded. That jury didn't have the ability to issue indictments, but this particular grand jury does. And I'm sure they are hearing evidence as we speak. And given that she set our expectations towards looking for an indictment early in August, and she's had judges clear their schedules for the first couple of weeks just to give her just to give us a reasonable time frame of what to expect. So it could be, you know, as early as the end of July, first week of August, second week of August, we could be seeing potential indictments of Trump and his cohorts there for their activities from 2020 and early 2021. Something to look forward to. But yeah, one way or the other, it appears that Jack Smith is looking for the opportunity to have a criminal trial of Donald Trump sometime before the general election of 2024. Yeah. So what else we got here? Alrighty. So cocaine in the White House. Yeah, that was fun.
This is such a dumb story, and I got exhausted of it so quickly because, like,
it really is. It really is the dumbest shit.
Like, I'm not interested in doing cocaine personally. It's not my bag. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my bag of cocaine either. But I don't give a shit. Like,
who in the White House is doing coke?
Yeah, like, why was this story? Why are the Secret Service ratting on White House activities? Like, are they required to give routine public updates on like
not only that, but
shit?
It was such a minuscule amount. Like, if they found like
how much was it, Ty? I don't even know. Was it like a
from what it looks like I don't know, probably. Damn, do we
measure cocaine in grams here? Because it seemed to be a small minuscule.
Yeah, it is. It's in grams and ounces. But
well, I'm just saying this appeared to be not pounds of cocaine.
I mean, today's prices are kind of high, so it was probably maybe $100 worth.
Ty, you telling too much about yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
She's just a smart woman. She's a journalist, and she makes it her business to know these things. For business.
Yes, it seemed to be less than a
fucking quarter ounce, an ounce, a brick. Like, that would be something completely different. Like, this was so, and which goes again to why I say that I believe that it was planted, because it was so, the amount was so fucking minuscule in the fucking world of coke.
It could have been some idiot who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on a White House tour. Oh wait, they search everybody. I forgot. I accidentally brought my coke."
Motherfucker,
that seems very likely.
Yeah, I mean, because I kind of think of the individual who would like go to the White House with coke would probably be someone who's already doing coke and was just like, "Oops, forgot to leave this in the car."
Okay, that would never happen, but I'm not going to say why I believe that.
I mean, I understand, but see, like, that's the thing, right? Because, like, if you do coke, then you just going to take your coke with you wherever you go.
Wherever you go.
But that's the thing, right? That's what happens to a cokehead. They get up out of the car and they're like, "I'm not leaving my stash in the car. I'm taking it with me." And then they get to the White House and then like, "Oh, they do the
and I'm full transparency here. If you're an addict like that, you will plot, okay, I'm going to the White House, but I need my shit. So where can I stash this shit so I can get into it and get past these people? No, I'm telling
You're like
you,
taking your pen apart and putting the coke in the pen and screwing it back together so you can get
okay,
your
now
bomb.
that you okay, I'm not, like I said.
Oh my God, Ty. Anyway.
I live on the border, okay? Give me a break. But yeah, you are.
So she's heard lots of stories. That's what
I've heard lots of stories about how shit gets through and of places from.
We all watched Weeds.
Airports and whatever else.
And Narcos.
Ty, stop saying incriminating shit.
Okay.
You're like, you're doing the swim thing. Someone who isn't me. No, look, more importantly than how it got there is the right-wing media firestorm of accusing Hunter Biden of having cocaine in the White House, which, look, I'm not here to dispute. It's entirely possible Hunter could be at the White House doing bumps. But this wasn't his cocaine. It's found in a fucking public area where people who take tours go.
Exactly. He's not going and dropping his cell phone.
No.
In a damn tourist area.
No. And he wasn't even there at the fucking White House the day it was found. Or the day before. Or the day before that, for that matter. Him and Pops was out on a trip. So implying somehow that this was Hunter Biden's coke.
It goes to another reason why I say it was planted, because they have latched on to saying, because it came after they were deriding Hunter, and then this to kind of piggyback on that narrative that they were pushing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
No, but this is entirely possible. Some idiot left his fucking cocaine there, trying not to, because he didn't want to get searched and patted down with cocaine on him.
With the amount of coke that it was, he could have had that shit in that little pocket, and there would have been none the wiser. He could have slipped that shit in the crack of his ass, and there would have been none the wiser. Because if you are a true addict, you know every crevice you can stick that shit. You know how you can slip it through security. You know how you can slip it through.
Maybe they're not a true addict. Maybe they just had some coke
on the way to the White House. Nah, it just doesn't. It's not. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
Somebody trying to do a bump for fun. Look, we've gotten too deeply involved in this. This is insane. All that matters is it wasn't Hunter Biden's coke, and we know that for sure. Like this,
and that this story was stupid and a waste of everyone's time, and the investigation was a waste of taxpayer money.
And they wasted taxpayer money.
You know who's being investigated for doing illicit drugs? Matt Gaetz. Yeah, that's right. So the House Ethics Committee is investigating his ass. That's an actual investigation. And, which is funny because the Ethics Committee is now run by Republicans. I wonder why they're going after one of their own. We'll get into that on the next episode of the podcast. Don't worry, kids. We'll move on to something else for today. Let's see. What else did we fucking have going on here? There's been so much.
Gal Lutz.
I'll be talking about that on the next episode of the podcast. Let's see what other thing do we have going on here. Okay, I guess we could talk about RFK Jr. a tiny bit. If you're not familiar with RFK Jr.'s work, he is basically he's a right wing. I don't even know what to call it.
Nut job?
No, is rat fucker is the word. Are you familiar with the term rat fucking? So he's an attempt by the right to screw the left by siphoning off votes from President Biden in the 2024 election, right? He's clearly going to lose in the primary because he's a right-wing conspiracy theory, anti-vax nut job. I mean, all the things he stands for are none of the things that Democrats vote for, or at least not in massive numbers. But apparently the idea here is that he'll run as a third party candidate, presumably on the no labels ticket, 2024.
He's Bernie 2.0. He's for the Bernie bros. He's Bernie 2.0.
Bernie had a lot more widely held support from Democrats than this guy does.
Bernie.
This is Jill Stein. Jill Stein 2.0.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll give him that. But when I say that, it's not, their ideology or whatever.
I know what you mean, though.
The same people like the Joe Rogans, Bernie Bros, and his they've latched on to him, and
they latched on to people that they think can make Democrats lose.
That same mentality, but yeah, Jill Stein is. Sorry, it's just chilly. It's hot.
Get you some water. Yeah, so the plan here is that RFK Jr. could potentially run as a third-party candidate in 2024 and siphon off enough votes in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and other swing states to the tune of 10 to 20, 30, 40,000.
But he can roster for the election.
Yes, he could screw Biden in enough swing states that if Trump is the nominee, that it would hand Trump the 2024 election. And he's funded by a bunch of right-wingers, bunch of right-wing billionaires hanging out with Steve Bannon. I think his PAC is being run by Marjorie Taylor Greene's people. Like, it's a fucking right-wing shit show. Don't fall for this shit. He's fucking insane. There's also a number of things you can look up about the crazy shit going on in his campaign Slack channel. We don't have time to get into that today because this shit is already fucking running long.
He's not Democrat. He's not independent. He's a lunatic Christian fascist. He's just crazy.
That's it.
Very insane. And if you're worried about President Joe Biden's age, I would suggest you pull up a clip of RFK Jr. talking, and that will assuage your concerns.
But he can bench press 13 pounds.
Look, the thing I don't understand about someone who's all like 100% against vaccinations in injecting things into their body, like, well, sir, like, where do you think those fucking steroids come from? It's the same fucking pharmaceutical companies that make the fucking vaccines. All right, kids. The
heroin that he was doing, he didn't have a problem with that.
We ain't got to bring that up.
I'm just saying, if you're going to go and you're going to make these kind of accusations or talking about this, you were literally pumping junk into your fucking body.
Yeah, it's ironic you bring that up because, like, the same people who were dunking on Hunter Biden for cocaine at the White House that wasn't his ain't got a damn thing to say about RFK Jr. shooting.
Yeah, and like just trashing his, and I am all for anybody in recovery. Like, I'm not dragging him for that, but I'm saying if you're
as are we.
Yeah, like.
Or Carol, do you hate people who have done drugs? I don't know.
No. Why would I hate people who have done drugs? I've done drugs since this podcast began.
Yeah, but the type of drugs you've consumed today aren't injectable.
Who am I to judge people?
I don't know. I mean, it's not that I judge, but I do feel like there's like a delineation between the type of, like, the drugs you consume from various means, like, orally.
I'm only coming back off of some random accusation that I hate drug addicts.
No, I was just messing with you. So orally consuming your drugs, I feel like that's totally different than injecting your drugs. I don't know.
What if I just ate heroin? Could you eat heroin?
I think that would eat away like the lining in your stomach. You probably shouldn't.
Yeah, black tar. You can.
It's probably not good for you.
I'm allergic to opioids, but thank God. But
yeah, kids, don't eat heroin. Public service announcement.
Yes. Don't eat heroin.
And if you do, you'll probably vote for RFK Jr. All right, kids, do either of you have a shithole of the week award by any chance? I really wish I came up with one.
My shithole of the week is Ryan Walters.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
School superintendent who said they can teach about the Tulsa race massacre, but they can't mention race. And this is the same fucker who quadrupled down today.
It seems like a violation of free speech in the First Amendment
to say that the Bible, he's trying to get the Bible in the school for social studies so that kids know the real history. That, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's not ideal. It's not great.
Yeah.
We
And
also
since
got
I haven't thought of a better idea besides I guess RFK
Ron
Jr.
DeSantis?
But
No.
there's well, he's always, but you know, he's
He is the
forbidden.
standing shithole of the week.
Yeah, see that you gotta talk shit about DeSantis in your closing thoughts every week. He can't even. He's not eligible for this award any longer. We got like Iowa Republicans passing in the dead of night the anti-abortion bill, so that wasn't fucking great last Friday. Not ideal. We got Republicans in Michigan kicking each other in the balls. That was incredible. I mean, I wish I could give it to Elon Musk, but I mean, he's become ineligible. He's won the award too many times, just completely destroying a 44.
Congratulations, Elon.
On Iowa, one of the cutest things is that they have like $55 and some change in their coffers.
Oh yeah, they're broke. Michigan Republicans in the same boat, rather, not the same broke.
Would you
I mean,
go?
I guess they are in the same
the
broke.
waters out of the car,
The
baby.
same broke boat.
Where's your cup? See, you put the cup away, and then you told me to make you some chocolate milk.
Oh, I could go for some chocolate milk too.
Yeah. You told me to get the. Yes. Okay.
Is that like some kind of offhand reference to Ty's boobs?
What? No. Fuck.
Chocolate. Well, now that you mentioned that, we can go there.
No, let's not. So my nominee for the shithole of the week award, I suppose I will go with Clarence Thomas, because this motherfucker can't stop taking money from people. So apparently one of his aides has been accepting money from lawyers who have business before the Supreme Court over Venmo.
Oh, guy.
Yeah.
Is that the Venmo guy?
Yeah, Venmo guy.
I'm sick of this timeline.
Hey, look, this isn't even the worst possible one. There's a timeline where Trump won and he's president right now.
Well, I don't know. Do you think we'd be alive still?
Girl, no. We definitely wouldn't be vaccinated because he wouldn't have gotten the fucking vaccine out to everyone.
That's true.
It'd be like the vaccine would be going to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Someone would be like, I got all the vaccines, and if you want some, you got to pay me. He'd be fucking grifting.
I figured he'd be putting,
You've gotten so tall,
I
sir.
figured he'd be putting loud dissidents in camps, but
well, he's putting kids in cages. That's close enough. You know what?
He seemed pretty close to the verge of that. Remember, toward the end of the quote unquote transition period, he was yelling at reporters, how dare you talk to the president that way?
I mean, even once he was out of office and he was running around doing those rallies last year, he was talking about locking up reporters who don't give up their sources. I'm like, well, what the fuck? The death penalty for this? This is insane. Oh yeah. And he was talking about Hunter Biden recently should have gotten the death penalty for paying his taxes late. Anyway, Ty, I think I'm with you. I'm going with this Ryan Walters guy because that was fucking insane to say that Oklahoma schools can't talk about fucking slavery and mention race. Like, well, why the fuck? Who was fucking slaves, bro?
Ron DeSantis wants to straight up ban CRT as part of his presidential platform.
Ron DeSantis is not eligible for this award, Carol.
But there are literally 3 living survivors from the Tulsa race massacre.
Oh man, and the court was like, "Nah, y'all can't get them."
They could have literally used this as a tool in the instruction, when they're talking about it, bringing them in to talk about it to students and things and recounting their in a real way. You know what I mean? But they just literally shit on these people who have lived. And I listened to one of their when she testified before Congress, and just talking about, because she was 7 years old. Like, it's easy to say, like, you know, a lot of people that were babies in the Holocaust or whatever, or too young to really, like, they don't have the memories, except for like after they were liberated, you know, except like Esther Bosch, she was 16 when she was taken to Auschwitz. So that makes her recounting so much more prescient and so much more impactful, because she's not going on stories of her family or anyone else. And the same, like, that they're not going from the stories of someone telling it down to them. Like, I was 7 years old. Like, I have memories from 7. Who doesn't have memories from when they were 7 years old of the incident? And to be just dismissed. And honestly, and I'm just like, literally how I feel is that what they want everyone to die off so that there's no one to tell the tale and they can spin it however they want. Honestly, like, that's really what I think. Like, they really want to have everybody gone, but these 3 people have been telling their stories and they've been sharing their experiences and how it affected them afterwards, like, on everything. But they're like just kind of waiting them out, and then they can tell the story the way they want.
Yep. And so my closing thought then is going to be based directly on that.
Yeah, congratulations. That was an amazing closing thoughts, Ty. Yeah, we're going to award that fucker Ryan, whatever the fuck his name is, Ryan Walters.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking shithole of the week awards. You, sir, are a piece of shit. Hope you die in a hole. Congratulations. We'll get you a fucking trophy. Carol, your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, from what Ty was saying, it's hard, but you're really going to have to learn and help other people learn how to discern the truth from lies.
Yeah,
like when Ron DeSantis is
dying.
Yeah, they're important, especially when you have Ron DeSantis, who, I mean, if he's maybe not even a viable candidate, but he's running on literally things like banning critical race theory. It's just, you have to know, like, if they're like freedom, how can you say freedom and banning in the same ad? Like, just try to cut through the bullshit and see what's really there. As Ty said earlier, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true.
There you
That's
go.
all I got.
You do love me, Carol.
I do love you. I was listening.
As for my closing thoughts, not that I had anything super prepared, but man, rich people are just out here trying to burn every fucking thing down. Like the fucking TV and movie companies don't want to pay their fucking actors and their writers. Billionaires out here spending gazillion dollars on crappy ass social media platforms instead of trying to fix the fucking problems at home.
And submersibles.
Billionaires out here buying the fucking Supreme Court justices over and under the table. I mean, it's fucking Venmo payments. I mean, really? We can't do, you can't come up with a more creative scheme than Venmoing the dude that works for the Supreme Court justice money. Like, what the fuck? Buying his mama house and letting her live rent free.
And now we're just accustomed to it. We're like,
yeah, billionaires out here crashing banks, because they have their money insured and they know that the government is going to get their back, cover their backs, even though it screws over the little people. I mean, just it's all fucking insane. All of this insanity because they don't want to pay a little bit more in fucking taxes. Like, you got billions of dollars. What the fuck do you can't even spend all of this money. What the fuck? I mean, I guess you can. If there were more Twitters, you could go blow your money.
But they'll pay $250,000 to sink themselves. But they wouldn't pay that in taxes, which is probably more, or pay that in the Social Security, or.
You beat me. I was getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, more of them will spend their massive fortunes on something that will sink them to the bottom of the fucking ocean and rest in pieces with the Titanic. And that concludes this episode of Pardon the Insurrection.